If you're a starting player on the baseball field for your team, have you ever stopped to think about why that is? Your coaches could have chosen anybody on the team. Why did they choose you? What separates you from your teammates that they want you out on the field to start and not your other teammates? And to that question, if you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm just a better player than they are, then you're going to learn a lot from this video. Even though many people think that a coach's decision to put a player out as a starter is based solely on their talent, there's so much more that goes into a coach's decision of putting a player out as a starter on the baseball field. In today's Bullpen Bulletin, we're discussing my top 5 qualities that coaches look for in a youth baseball player. And these are 5 golden qualities that have nothing to do with the talent that you were born with, and they have everything to do with the person you are on and off the field. If you have these 5 qualities, you'll be sure to find yourself in a starting position for your team. Hey team, I'm Coach Hart, this is Building Better Baseball, and this is the best place for baseball education. If we've never met before and this is your first video, then welcome to the team. If we've already met, then welcome back. Before we get into these top 5 qualities, I want to let you know that down in the description, I always have a PDF downloadable guide for you that's free that you can take with you after this video is done. I'll be explaining more about that at the end of the video, but for now, let's get into the top 5 qualities that coaches look for in a youth baseball player. And the first quality we're talking about is you are the best teammate. So the first thing that comes to mind when I talk about being a great teammate is you motivate your team to want to get better. You give them the motivation and the want to make themselves better. That's the power that you have. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about being a leader, because being a great teammate doesn't mean that you always have to be a leader. So I don't want to get those confused. Most often, being a great teammate, you're also a leader, but you don't have to be the leader of your team in order to be a great teammate. So the first thing, being motivating, right? You are motivating every single person on your team to want to get better, to make the team better, and to make themselves better individually. You are that person who's going up to everybody. Hey, you got this. Hey, let's get better. Hey, what are you working on today? You're that person that's going around to your team and you are making them want to get better for themselves. So that's kind of your role. Your energy is always high, and when you see one of your teammates with low energy and they're down, you know exactly how to get them up, because your energy goes through the entire team and it lifts up the entire team, and everyone feels motivated and they want to get better around your presence. The second thing with this is you put your teammates first before yourself. You don't think about yourself. You're humble, right? Great teammates are humble and they think about their team and they think about their teammates and what's best for them before you think about what's best for you. You're thinking about your teammates first. Hey, how can I help so-and-so get better at fielding the ground balls? And you understand that if you can help your teammates get better, that means that the entire team gets better, which means that you get better. Right? You're just lifting everybody up and you're helping everybody get better on the field, because you understand that if you put everybody else first and you put your team first and you have a team mentality and not a me mentality, then that only lifts everybody up. And that mindset ultimately means that if everybody else gets better and the team gets better, that means you get better. So that's everything involved with being a great teammate, is you're motivating your teammates and you have high energy and your energy flows through everybody and lifts everybody up. You think about what's best for your team and your teammates before what's best for you. And you understand that if you can help your teammates get better, that will ultimately mean that the team will get better, which means in the end that you will get better. And everybody is just lifted up just by your presence and just by your energy. The number 2 quality that coaches look for is you are coachable. And the first thing that comes with this is you are always ready to listen and learn. Being coachable means that you don't have a mindset that you already know everything and that your coaches can't help you. So having the mindset of always being ready to listen and learn and always ready to get better and always listening to your coach, that is being coachable. And I think one of my favorite quotes explains this perfectly. The quote is, "The less that you know, the more you think you know. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know." What that basically means is the less that you know, the more that you think that you know everything, right? And the fact that you don't have to learn. Oh, I don't have to learn that. I already know that. If you're coachable and you're going in with an open mind and a growth mindset, and you're always ready to listen and learn and be a sponge and take up all the information that your coaches are giving you, the more that you realize that you don't know and the more you realize that you can learn from your coaches. That is being coachable. And the second part of this is you ask questions. Asking questions is not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that you're dumb or not smart or intelligent. It actually means the opposite. It means that you want to learn and that you want clarification on how to learn. If a coach tells you something and you don't understand it, ask questions. That's how people learn. People learn by asking questions. If I don't know how to do something, I'm going to ask somebody who knows how to do it to teach me, hey, how do you do this? One great example is when I was younger, I was learning the proper mechanics to the pitching motion, right? If I didn't ask questions and I wasn't coachable about that, I would hear the mechanics one time and then I would think that I already knew it, and I would not have the career or the success that I had all the way through college if I didn't ask questions. When my coach was teaching me that, it was difficult. It was hard to understand, but I kept asking questions and that helped me understand more and helped drive home the exact information that I needed to know to have that type of success. So being coachable, you're coming in every single day ready to learn, ready to listen to your coach, and ready to be a sponge and take in all the information that you're getting from your coaches. And second thing, ask questions. If you don't understand, ask questions. Ask your coach to explain a little bit more. Hey coach, I don't really understand that. Can you explain that more so I have it right? That's being coachable, and that's how you're going to get better. And that is the second quality that coaches look for in a youth baseball player. The third quality is you are passionate about baseball and you're a hard worker who wants to get better. The number one thing that I thought of when I said this quality is hustle. You hustle everywhere. When you run everywhere, or at least you jog everywhere and you don't walk or you're not lazy and you get to where you're supposed to be so you can get your work in, that shows a coach that you want to be there. You look like you want to be there because you're hustling around everywhere and you want to get to the station or get to the drill so you can start it up so you can get better. So hustling everywhere, that shows hard work and that shows passion for the game, and coaches love that. The second thing that came to mind was when you're in practice, you treat practices like a game. You go hard in every single practice as if it were a game, because you know that if it were a game, that's how hard you would be playing. So if you practice at that high level, you know that in the game, you can take it even further than that, right? If you go into practice and you don't treat it like a game and you're lazy and you're not working as hard as you can, then you're going to take that mindset into the game and you're going to take that work ethic into the game, and you're not going to perform at the level that you want to. When you go into practice, you treat every practice as if it were a game. You run the bases hard. You go after every ball. You're flying around the field. You're diving after balls. You're throwing people out. That is a hard worker who is passionate about the game of baseball, who wants to get better. Coaches love seeing that. And another thing with this, if they see you playing like that in practice, their mind is going, whoa, if this is practice, if they're doing this in practice, I can't imagine what they're going to do in the game. I want to get them out there. I want to make them a starter. Treat every practice as if it were a game. And that's the third quality that coaches look for: being a passionate player about the game of baseball and being a hard worker who wants to get better. The fourth quality that coaches look for is that you have respect all around for the game, for everybody involved, and you have great sportsmanship. And this one is going to be really quick. It's just all about respect. You respect yourself as a player. When you get out, you don't throw the bat, you don't throw your helmet, you don't throw a tantrum, right? You learn from it, and you know that you're going to learn from that and get better. You respect the umpires on the field. We have an umpire shortage in America right now, and it's because people don't respect the umpires. People are just screaming and yelling at the umpires like they're not human beings. We need to treat umpires with respect, and that is a huge thing. So being a youth baseball player, when you get out on the field, you go up to the umpire before the game starts. Hello, sir, how you doing? My name is so-and-so, right? What's your name? Great to have you here. I'm so happy you're here. Thanks for doing our game today. When you get your first at bat for the home plate umpire, you go shake his hand or her hand and you introduce yourself. Say, hey, thank you so much for doing this game. I can't wait to have a great game. And if you disagree with the call, there are ways that you can disagree with the call and show the umpire that you disagree without disrespecting them. If they make a call at second base that you don't agree with, you can walk up to them in private, not yell at them in the middle of everything where everybody can hear. You go up to them in private and say, hey, Blue, I kind of saw it a little differently. I just want to know, what did you see on that play? That shows the umpire that you disagree, but you're respecting them as a person and as an umpire. Right? They're going to tell you their perspective, and then you say, okay, thank you, right? And then move on. Because if you argue with the umpire, that does nothing for your team. It only makes things worse. So you respect the umpires. You respect yourself as a player. You respect the umpires. You respect your coaches. You respect your coaches in kind of the same ways that you respect the umpires. You respect your teammates. You don't yell at them for making a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes, right? You pick them up constantly. You're being a great teammate, like we said in quality number 1. You're respecting your teammates. And honestly, one of the hardest things to do is you're respecting your opponents. I'm not saying that you have to go get ice cream with them after the game, but you have to respect them because they are just like you. They are human beings who are just playing this game. And when you do all of these things, you are respecting the game of baseball. And that's the most important thing. We all have to respect the game of baseball. You respect yourself, you respect your coaches, the umpires, your teammates, the opponents, and all around you're respecting the game. And that is a very, very high quality that coaches look for in a youth baseball player. And the number 5 quality to close out this video is you trust your coach and you trust everything that they do. And very quickly, this just involves no attitude towards your coaches, no talking back about plays or pitches that they called. You trust your coach and you trust them to make the best decision for your team. Even if you don't agree, you have to remember that you are a youth baseball player and most often your coach has been around the game for a lot longer than you have, right? They know what they're doing, and even if they don't, they are still your coach. You still need to respect them, and if they call a pitch or if they call a play and you don't really agree with it, you're going with it and you're trusting your coach that they're making the right call. And coaches love seeing that. They love seeing their players trust them. I can tell you the one way that you will see the bench every single time is if your coach calls a play or if they call a pitch and you do something to disrespect them, like call them out or get in an argument or show some attitude. That will definitely get you off of the field and into the bench, right? There's no place for that. If you want to have a private conversation with your coach, that's still respectful. You can disagree with them and pull them aside and say, hey coach, can I talk to you for a second? I really didn't agree with that pitch you called that the kid got a home run on that we lost the game on. And then just have a conversation about that. Have a conversation and don't do anything on the field, show your poor body language or anything like that you disagree or that you're showing some attitude. There's no place for that in the game. And as I said, if you really have a problem with your coach that you want to talk about, pull them aside and say, hey coach, can I talk to you for a second over here? That is a private, respectful conversation and you all can talk about it. So very quickly, a little summary. Number 1, you are the best teammate. Number 2, you are coachable. Number 3, you are passionate and you're a hard worker who wants to get better. Number 4, you are respectful of the game all around and everybody involved and have great sportsmanship. And lastly, number 5, you trust your coach with all of the decisions that they make and you respect your coach. So thanks for hanging out with me today, and I want to let you know, down in the description, I have a free guide for you. It's how to get more playing time. This PDF downloadable guide for you, it's free, and it gives you 5 tips to get more playing time on your travel baseball team. Go down to the description, click on the link, it's free, I made it for you so you can get more playing time on your travel baseball team. And if you want to take your game even further, I have online training courses for both players and coaches on my website, www.buildingbetterbaseball.com, that you can check out to take your game to the elite level. I'll see you next week for another edition of the Bullpen Bulletin.